Today I'm going to give you a couple tips on how to put layout number 9 of Oh So Lovely together. I'm going to do it very similar to our instruction sheet, but there's one paper, this, I don't know if it's Ponderosa green or evergreen green, behind this beautiful leaf pattern. And one thing that I've really enjoyed about the layouts is our sparkle paper. And I think it's called glitter paper. And so I'm going to change it up a little bit and use glitter paper. And I'll remind you of a way to do that financially feasible. Because if you cut out the glitter paper in the center, because only a little teeny bit is going to show, about an eighth of an inch around the border, I think it would save you some money, and you'd have that glitter paper to use for other things. And we do it just like we did last week's layout, number 8, just like we did that one, because you can cut out the center and then you have that paper to use on other things. So I'm going to put the straight edge of my 9 3/4 inch square along my line at 3/4 inch, and I'm just going to cut a line up to about 3/4 at top. Doesn't even have to be exact because you're only showing an eighth of an inch. Then I turn my paper a quarter turn. I'm going to do it again. Turn a quarter turn again. And what I'm doing is making a little frame that this pretty leaf paper will go onto or be attached to. And I just felt a little bit of sparkle would go a long way here. Since we have a 1/4 inch piece of the glitter paper horizontally, this will give a square that'll just make it highlight a little bit more. So what I've done, except my corners there a little bit, just pulling the corners off. I could snip it. What I've done is I've made, it's caught to my arm, I've made a little bit of a square. And this one I cut a little small, but it won't matter because only an eighth of an inch is showing. And now I'll just put this aside for another project. And what I'm going to do is adhere this to there. Now there's one thing about sparkle paper. It looks pretty good. Sparkle paper sometimes doesn't stick well. So if you have any areas that are not sticking well, I would use a glue dot. And I've also found that with the sparkle or glitter bows, the glitter glue does nicely. So I am just going to adhere this in the center. Showing a little teeny bit of the sparkle. Now I'm wondering if my square is 9 3/4 or not, because it seems a little short. Let me just check this out. This is 9 1/2, so this should work. Okay. I just have a little trim of sparkle around, and I think I like sparkle better than the dark green. So I'll lay that aside. That's all ready for the middle of my paper. And the rest I'll just attach, nice and easy. By now, if you're on layout number 9, you hardly need my assistance anymore to attach these papers. It's hopefully becoming a habit to you, and a very easy procedure. Once they're cut out, you just apply it. So I attach this to the bottom, and I'll run some adhesive on my little sparkle. Put that right above the lined paper. And then I have a zip strip. And the zip strip will go on top of that glitter, again lined up. Now if you notice on the directions, the zip strip goes in two different directions. I think on both pages I'm going to follow the leaf in the same direction and not have them meet each other differently. Okay, now this piece is centered. Like I said, if you have any difficulty with adhering this, go ahead and use a couple of glue dots. But I find my automatic gun, tape gun, is pretty secure. And I just eyeball it, trying to get an equal distance, equal distance spacing. So this is my base. And this photo has, this layout has 2 pages. And they're very, very close to each other with one cluster. And I'm going to spread mine out a little. Just like that. So a little bit more balanced with my sense of appeal here. And I am not going to put any placeholders because I have already printed my photos. Okay. Now this is going to have a cluster of a camera, a heart, and a little teeny title. Now for the little teeny title, I'm just adding it like a caption. And I think I've showed you before, for me, when I'm going to use stickers, like this camera is a sticker and I have it on the background paper, I just cut around the sticker still on the protective sheet, and then you can put it where you want. So these photos are going to be puffed up a little bit, and even though I'm using the title, I'm going to do special moments. Even though I'm using a title, and this says this moment, because this is so much bigger, I think I can get away with both. Okay, so this is the first side here. And now I'm going to do the right-hand side. Now this one I've already cut out the center of my square. Notice that one was even, so I'll put this aside for another project. I'm going to do the same exact thing. I'm going to adhere this beautiful vine paper to the 9 3/4 inch frame. One nice thing about close to my heart glitter paper is it's very attached. You don't get a lot of glitter pieces floating around or coming off. So it cuts well on Cricut, cuts well on the regular cutter also. This page is lined up, other than the photo mats, the same way. Striped page with the striped pattern piece on the bottom. And a little piece of glitter. Because these pieces are exactly the same size, I'm not even worrying about measuring where anything's going. I'm just starting at the bottom and lining them up equal or right flush to the next piece. And I'm sure you've learned that trick after doing a few of these pages. You don't have to be too fussy. And remember, I'm following the same direction with the leaf as the other page, so it flows. This is a zip strip, from one of your pattern pieces we cut out at the beginning. For some of you, cutting out 10 pages at once is a little different, but it sure does make putting the pages together easy. There we go. Now, I just saw a problem here. I have some adhesive on that, or paint on that. I used a piece of paper that's been inked. I'm just using my glue eraser, trying to get that off. And I might have to put a little bit of white out on there, or an embellishment. If I had noticed that earlier, I would have just made this the bottom of my paper. Let's see. Try really hard to keep a clean desk so I don't get ink on things, but must have touched something that was wet at some point in time. So for the moment, I'm going to leave that flaw, and we'll see if we see it when we put the whole page together. Okay, so I have my bottom piece, my two thin layers, and now I'm going to center this here. And I'm just centering it. There we go. Now, for this layout, the papers, if these were on a vertical orientation, these ones, I mean a horizontal orientation, and these are on a vertical. They have them very close together again. I am going to do a 1/4 inch or so around and keep them staggered more, just because I like that look better. They don't look as cluttered to me. Okay. Now it says this moment, and I'm using the title Special Moments. And because of 2020 and even the beginning of this year, with missing a lot of opportunities, I'm doing pictures of my grandchildren, of things I've missed. So I'm going to do special moments, but I'm going to do special moments and have a journaling page that talks about what I have missed. Now normally I do a separate video on putting my pictures together. And right now, I think I'm just going to attach them. So I have to decide which side I want things on. Little sleeping grandbaby here. I'm thinking my vertical pictures might be my first page, because this is a picture of the kids watching TV with Zoom and more television time. It's sort of an event of this year, isn't it? So I'm making he's looking that way. Here, little Elijah's sleeping. Here they're looking that way. So I think I'll have it look into some of the school pictures I want to share.